So Scarlet and Violet era booster boxes. The prices are getting pretty insane. Some of them, in my opinion, are kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is. The market is doing what it's doing. And Pokemon, even though they have reprinted some of these booster boxes, well, it has not been enough. I don't know if Pokemon is ever going to really heavily reprint booster boxes in this era because every single booster box they have reprinted hasn't really dropped a bunch. The only one that really dropped notably is really Surging Sparks. Other than that, I can't think of a time where when they reprinted the booster box, it actually dropped prices a good bit. Surging Sparks dropped from I think around 245 to like 215, and that's not even crazy because everything else they've reprinted, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, Twilight Masquerade, all those really have not dropped at all from any reprints, and they continue to go up. Now, will Pokemon maybe now start reprinting these booster boxes? Hopefully, so you guys can have a chance to buy some. Because if not, well, it looks like you will probably have to be paying these prices. And for these early Scarlet and Violet era booster boxes, well, the chances for them to get reprinted seems very unlikely, especially those that have already gotten reprinted multiple times, like Paldea Evolved and Obsidian Flames. First, let's start off with Paldea Evolved. I'm going to go through the first three sets that have been moving the most. Paldea Evolved, Destined Rivals, and Obsidian Flames. And I'll show you guys the rest of the booster boxes, and I'll also try to show you guys some deals if I can find any on eBay compared to like TCG Player. So you can see here, Paldea Evolved right now lowest listed is $420. Honestly, I feel like this was like obviously coming, but I don't even know how long ago it was, maybe a month ago or something. You guys know the controversy with the information that came out. Oh, there's going to be this reprint coming. And it was a lot of confusion because everyone's like, oh, reprint's coming. Wait for the price to drop. We saw a dip in prices for the booster box because of that news. But what happened? That reprint news was really nothing. It was like some sleeve boosters, some minuscule things that did absolutely nothing really to the supply of Paldea Evolved booster boxes. But some people did sell. Unfortunately, hopefully that was not you guys. Yeah, things eventually went back up. And now Paldea Evolved has crossed $400. It is now the first booster box in the Scarlet and Violet era to be $400 plus. So it has made history. Paldea Evolved is seemingly the one that is starting to move ahead of everyone else by a pretty large margin now at this point. Does this mean this is the evolving skies of Scarlet and Violet? I don't know about that because there is a set close behind that has just been released not too long ago that maybe in some time, maybe it'll surpass it. But for now, Paldea Evolved is at $420. You can see the past couple weeks, there's been an increase in the sales volume. Now, when you look at supply in this market, you can see there's a couple here in the low fours. This is probably going to enter mid fours very soon. You can see there was just 3 boxes. It hits mid fours. And there's about 15, 20 boxes here. And then it hits like close to 500. So Paldea Evolved is probably going to continue to go up. Paldea Evolved is one of those boxes that has already been reprinted multiple times. It is going out of print early next year. I don't see a big enough reprint for these booster boxes to do absolutely anything. So if you can find Paldea Evolved booster boxes for very low 400s, I mean basically at market price at this point, or locally, if you can find them for under 400, that may be a pretty good buy if you want to pick these up. I'm telling you, I know it looks super expensive. It is expensive, right? It's not, it's still in print, whatever. What do you want to call it? It's too expensive, but I don't think it's going to get any cheaper, to be honest with you guys. So if you can find any deals locally, especially under 400, I would probably just buy it if you want to invest into Paldea Evolved, because other than that, it's probably going to keep going up. Now on eBay, I mean, it's going to be pretty much the same thing across the entire board here for all Scarlet and Violet era. There's really no deals, guys. The market is crazy when you can't find deals anywhere. Sometimes TCG Player or eBay, there's disparities in prices, but it seems like either TCG Player is cheapest and eBay's more expensive, or there's just like no deals at all. Like, it's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. These sets aren't that old, yet you can't find any deals. It's like impossible. So, like I said, locally, if you can find these for under $400, might be a pickup. You can see here, no boxes really under 420. You can see here 450, 450, 500. One's here for 410, 420, 410, 430. Really no deals, guys. Like I said, best bet. Maybe check your card store. Maybe they have something for $400. Might be a buy then. So cases right now are going for around $2,700. So if you do the math, you're paying a bit of a premium. It's not a crazy premium. I think I did the math. It's like $30 extra for each booster box. So it's not that bad of a premium. So if you want a case, there is a seller that has them for $2,700. I always say this when you're buying cases from TCG Player. Message them, make sure they're going to double box it, because some people just slap a label on it and your case might get damaged, which does matter. But it is interesting to note, once this does sell, this one case here, it goes to about 3K. So if you buy this, you're saving $250, which you do the math, you're saving about $40 each booster box. And after this sells on eBay, it is not any cheaper. This is in fact the cheapest case I was able to find. If you go on eBay, you can see here 3K, here 3K, here 2,900. So it is cheapest by a few $100s. So if you guys want to pick that up, if it's still available and you see and you're watching this video, well, if you want a case, like I said, I would message the seller. If you want 100%, be sure it's double boxed, because it is the cheapest case on the market that I've been able to find. Now next here, very, not maybe interesting, but maybe surprising, Destined Rivals. It's at $350. Guys, I remember when I was talking about this booster box at $250, I really did not think it was a good investment, because honestly, I don't think anybody out there was saying, "Oh, I think this is a great investment at $250." I wasn't saying that. I admit to it. I was maybe wrong, because if you bought at $250, well, now it's $350. So you could even still probably, doing the math, can you flip at this amount? Probably make minuscule amounts of money, but as an investment, the fact that it's already this expensive, buying at $250 definitely. Will there be another opportunity in the future? It's really hard to say, right? So buying then at $250 would have been, a smart idea. But let's be honest here. I don't know if anyone thought it was going to go to $350 in this short period of time. I certainly didn't. It's only been a few months, and it's already at this price point. Luckily, like I said, even though I was saying at the current time it was not a good investment, if you want to, which I did, and I advise you guys, it wouldn't hurt to buy a little bit. And that's what I did. I bought 5 booster boxes in the low 200s. Very little amount. You guys out there, I was saying, if you want to buy a box or two, it's not going to break the bank. Well, maybe depending on your financial situation. But if you buy a couple at even mid 200s, I was even saying at 250. You want to buy a couple, go ahead, right? It's not a big deal. If things somehow tank, if you only buy a few and you buy a few cases or 10, 20 boxes when prices drop, your average cost is not really going to be affected at all. So that's what I was advising you guys. You know what? We don't know what's going to happen. We know the set's hyped up. Prepare for the worst case scenario and maybe just buy a little bit. And that's what I did. And at least I have something, guys. Because if this never really goes down quite a bit, and let's say, this is all theoretical. Let's say it always stays above 300. It's going to be kind of rough to want to pay that amount, but yeah, I'm happy about something in the low 200s, because to see this at this price point is ridiculous, but you can't stop the market. It is what it is. And still, guys, look at the sales volume. Around 10 boxes are still selling every single day at this, high price point. So Destined Rivals, like I said, I feel like it is going to be, one of the sets that is going to be the top or the best performing down the road. Right now, on its current path, I think it is going to surpass Paldea Evolved at some point. Obviously, the set can still definitely get reprinted a lot more than Paldea Evolved, because let's be honest here, Paldea Evolved probably not going to get reprinted. But we'll see what happens, and that will be sort of the battle, because Paldea Evolved will be out of print, Destined Rivals will be in print. So therefore, Destined Rivals may see more supply, and we'll see what, at the end of the day, when both of these are out of print, what happens. But I think Destined Rivals, its performance we've been seeing, it might be the top performing main set. I've talked about this is gonna be the top. If not, it's probably gonna be Paldea Evolved. So they definitely are up there for being the top set. But Destined Rivals at this price point is ridiculous. Now, even Destined Rivals, even though it is this expensive, you might think, oh, you can find some cheaper deals on eBay. Well, if you want to save like $10, $20, you can. But there's really no deals out there, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Scarlet Violet, it's like Sword and Shield. You can't find any deals. It's kind of bad. Don't buy this. This is a scam. Obviously, if you guys know, this is a fake box, but it's for like $176. Hopefully, you guys aren't buying that. But there's no really good deals out there, guys, for any of these. Like I said, if you may save $10, $20, investing at this price point for Destined, I'm not recommending, but yeah. Cases you can actually buy for a little bit under what I guess market price would be, because if you do the math, what was lowest listed? Like, let's say 440 or else 340 times 6, that comes out to 2040, which is basically what this is. So you're not really paying a premium if you're buying a case. So hey, if you guys are gonna, okay, here's what I'm gonna say. If you guys are investing at this price point, which I'm not highly recommending, I would probably maybe buy a case, because if there's no premium, that's where I recommend, if there's not really much of a premium, I would go for a case. If I was, investing into Destiny Rivals at this price point, that's probably what I would do, because there's no premium. Just, I guess, my take on that. Here on eBay, there's one listing for about the same as TCG Player, but other than that, everything else is more expensive. So TCG Player in this listing is cheapest. Everything else is like $2,100 to $2,200. So Destiny Rivals, it is very expensive. There's really not much of a premium at all. So like I said, if you're going to invest in Destiny Rivals, which I'm not highly recommending at this price point, I would maybe just buy the case or whatever. But yeah, because I don't know, I don't even know what to say with Destiny Rivals. But anyways, moving on. Obsidian Flames. Obsidian Flames is doing some crazy things. Now, I've never liked Obsidian Flames. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. During the whole duration of Obsidian Flames talking about this set, Obsidian Flames is one of those things where I really think it's because of this market and the people that came into it, which is why it's performed the way it did. Obsidian Flames doesn't have any expensive cards, but it does have a Charizard, and there's a few Charizards in there, but there's nothing, expensive because the pull rates are so easy. But I think because this market, Charizard obviously is a very mainstream Pokemon, and a lot of people came into Pokemon just recently. I feel like, a lot of people gravitated toward this set because it has Charizard. It's not that hard to pull stuff, and even though it's not expensive, I think that's a big reason why this has seen a huge, I guess, increase in price from where it was originally, because these were super dirt cheap at one point, and they're pretty expensive for being this cheap of a set. But I truly believe it's just the demographic that came into Pokemon. It's just mainstream stuff. Charizard, that's why this is expensive, because other than that, if this was any other set and not Charizard, I don't think it'd be at this price point. But it's over $300, which is kind of crazy to say for Obsidian Flames. But yeah, it is what it is. Obsidian Flames, I didn't think would be this expensive. This is another one of those sets where I don't think it's going to get reprinted, because it got reprinted with Paldea Evolved twice. So I don't think this is going to get reprinted. But honestly, at this price point, guys, I wouldn't highly recommend buying Obsidian Flames, to be honest. This is probably one of them that, like, Paldea Evolved makes way more sense, in my opinion, than Obsidian. I wouldn't pay this much for Obsidian, but hey, anything's possible at this point. Obsidian Flames has been performing extremely well, but out of all this other sets and the price points, Obsidian at this price is like one of the bottom picks, just in my opinion. Now, when you look at eBay, you can't find any extremely good deals. There's one here for 307, one here for 307, so I guess a little bit cheaper maybe than, or around the same price as TCG Player, but yeah, really no great deals. I saw this one. This person has, I think, 0 feedback, but yeah, no good deals here. Booster box cases are $2,000, so if you do the math, you're paying a little bit of a premium. It's $2,000 on eBay, though it is cheaper. You can find them for $1,800. There's a couple people here. This even says double box, which at this point you're paying 0 premium. So hey, if you want a case of Obsidian, you can go ahead and buy the case. It's no premium. So I always tell you guys, what? For me, cases, I'm not paying any large premium for cases. But when you can buy cases for no premium, then you know what? It's not the worst idea to pick it up. When the case premium, whenever it happens, or if it does happen, whatever, you're not paying any extra. I'm not a big fan of paying huge case premiums. I don't do it. So when you have the chance to buy them without a case premium, that's definitely probably a good pickup if you want to do that. Now, to go over the other boxes quickly here, Scarlet Violet base is now $230. It's been going up. At this point, I think all booster boxes are above $230. A Paradox Rift, $250. Pretty crazy to see this. Temporal is at $245, so a little bit cheaper than Paradox by like $5. Twilight Masquerade, even though recently it has gotten the ETB reprint, you can see here the booster boxes remain unaffected, and this is sort of a thing that it's like a misunderstanding. People hear reprint and automatically think everything goes down, but if a specific product is not being reprinted and it's something else, the other product most likely won't be affected. For example, with this set, right? ETBs are being reprinted, not booster boxes. Therefore, the booster boxes are not affected at all. You can see the price point has gone up consistently. And I can even show you guys if you want to see this in action. I'll actually just search this up here, search up the Elite Trainer box, look at the past month, what has happened? The reprint, right? So you guys can see what I mean by this. Just because it gets something gets reprinted doesn't mean everything in Twilight Masquerade is going to go down in price. The booster box has done the complete opposite, as you can see here. Stellar Crown, you see 250. Stellar Crown at 250 is ridiculous in my opinion. Stellar Crown, no real notable cards other than, I guess it has a few. Bulbasaur, Squirtle, the Tropicos, I don't even think is the most expensive card anymore in the set. Stellar Crown, and it's a newer set at 250, like I'm saying, is ridiculous. At this point, it has the Squirtle and Bulbasaur, which is why it's not this expensive. But if I was going to invest at 250 for anything, I'd probably go with Paradox or Temporal, because Stellar is a lot newer and it's as expensive. So it could be argued this might have a higher chance of getting reprinted. And Paradox Rift especially, I believe Paradox Rift is going out of print early next year. I believe so. So Paradox Rift might be a better buy than this, but it's as expensive, which I think is crazy. Surging Sparks is now $260. This is not surprising. It was sitting for a while because this was like during the reprint, like down here. But Surging Sparks is starting to move up. But like I said, it's not surprising because, guys, if Stellar Crown is 250, if Paradox Rift Temporal like 250, Surging Sparks doesn't make sense to be at that price point because it's a more expensive set. It has more chase cards. It doesn't make sense at all. So it's moved up. There is a seller that has 64 of these. What happens after this? I'm actually curious. So it goes 260. So kind of is going to stay here. So it's around going to be 260, 270 after this. But this person has a lot. So it's going to stay around this price point, but it has moved up a little bit. Now, lastly here, I have Journey Together. Journey Together is about a $230 box. I don't know why some of these are messed up, but $230 has moved up. You can see in the past few months it has been going up at $230. So even Journey Together has been moving up, even though it's not the most popular thing. I still think it's sort of underrated, Journey Together as a set. But yeah, there's an overview of all the boxes. Just wanted to cover the ones that have been moving the most first. Paldea Evolved, Destined Rivals, Obsidian Flames. Other than that, all these other boxes, they have been moving up, but they're not as crazy as the other ones. So, just to summarize this whole video, Scarlet Violet is all very expensive. It's honestly very hard to tell what you should buy. Obviously, the most obvious answer, go with the stuff that's going to go out of print. Paldea Evolved, in my opinion, even though it is the most expensive box, I think I've also said this when it was around $300. It is even though you're paying the high price, but you're also getting other stuff with it. Obviously, it's like one of the top main sets, but you're also paying for the low chance that it gets reprinted again versus, let's say, Destined Rivals, right? Because Paldea Evolved already got reprinted twice. Destined Rivals, none yet. So, and it's going out of print. I'd say out of all these, if you want to, just hear my sort of take on if you were going to invest in any of these, what are the best ones? Honestly, Paldea Evolved, if you can find it for 400 or under, that's probably one of the best buys right now. Even though Obsidian is going to also go out of print, I don't think it's a great buy at this price point, just for me. Paradox is, I guess, pretty good, and I'm talking about all main sets here. I'm obviously not talking about specialty sets because that's not what this video is about. So I'd say Paldea Evolved, Paradox Rift, those are pretty good. And Temporal is also not bad, but Temporal is still going to be in print after things got a rotation next year. So I'd say top sets, Paldea or booster boxes, Paldea Evolved, Paradox Rift. Those are the two ones I'll pick. What do you guys think? I think everything else, you could still argue these other ones that will still be in print after next year. There's maybe still now a decent buy because, like I said, Pokemon has all their booster box reprints have not really done much to any of these. So honestly, you could probably argue any of these is a good buy. But I think the safest and the best ones, Paldea Evolved, it's already shown it's like a top set. And what did I say? Paradox Rift. Those are the two ones I'd pick. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, this market's crazy. And booster boxes for Scarlet Violet, we finally have one that is now over $400. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.